A demonstration has been staged near the White House in protest at a visit by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
An extension of colonial power in the Middle East become undone. And why could it become undone? It could become undone because many of the people in Israel understand the politics of the relationship. We don't accept the relationship.
The protesters decried Washington's policy towards the Israeli regime and called on the US government to cut aid to Tel Aviv. Israel now receives $3.1 billion from the United States annually, but has reportedly demanded $5 billion per year for 10 years. The demonstration came before the Israeli premier sat down for talks with President Barack Obama. The two leaders discussed a variety of issues, including Iran's nuclear program. Obama said that Washington and Tel Aviv have a strong disagreement on Tehran's nuclear issue, but rehashed the rhetoric that the US and Israel need to make sure Iran doesn't get its hands on nukes. To discuss this story further, we're joined live from Washington, D.C. by Yisroel Dovid Weiss. He's the Associate Director of Notary Carta International. Rabbi Weiss, thank you very much for joining us here on Press TV. Well, what were the people protesting outside the White House?
Thank you for having me on your program. It's an honor and a privilege. With the help of the Almighty, we had a delegation of rabbis, some originally from Palestine and from the UK and around the world, basically, Jews who represent the Jews around the world who are true to the Torah. And we just want to always try to make our President Obama aware that Netanyahu is simply not a representative of the Jewish people or of Judaism. He is representing an illegitimate nationalism, the state of Israel, the Zionist state of Israel, that has simply tried to transform our religion, Judaism, into ersatz Judaism, a new type of Judaism. They've kidnapped and hijacked our identity. They have no right to speak in the name of Judaism. As Jews, we oppose oppressing or occupation of another people. It's clearly against the teachings of the Torah. It's clearly forbidden for Jews to have their own state since the destruction of King Solomon's temple. The temple, Jews obeyed this for 2,000 years. We have lived amongst Muslim people and in other nations in peace and harmony. We never aspired for any nationalism. So this whole corrupt concept of this Zionism and their state is something which should be uncovered, and the world leaders should be aware of this. And therefore, when he's coming asking for some type of more compensation, more money, and different issues, and that Iran should be vilified, and all the different things that they're asking, we want our president to know that we have this large American Jewish community that stands true to the Torah, and although the president and many other Americans and world communities have compassion and want to help the Jews, but the way to help the Jews is by fortifying and supporting that Jews should be able to practice their religion together in harmony, let's say in a free Palestine, without this obstacle to peace, which is simply inciting and creating havoc and creating hate. By buttressing the state of Israel, it's really unfortunate. It is the cause of the endless river of bloodshed and hate, not only in Israel, but the repercussions are throughout the world. So we plead with our president to really step out of the narrative that has been forced upon the world by the Zionist propaganda, by their PR. And remember, Jews have lived in harmony in Iran, in Persia, without any human rights groups to protect us for thousands of years, and under the Islamic Republic of Iran, it's a perfect example how we've been able to coexist. We were embraced and given the opportunity to flourish and live as Jews. So why should this be supported, this terrible, illegitimate and flawed political movement that just started 100-odd years ago, Zionism, and is not the Judaism. It tries to incorporate religion, but it's totally, it's using it as a facade. It's against God, the state, and it's really just a nakba, a tragedy, the works of Satan. It really has no place amongst humanity, which is created by God.
Well, I'm sure that many activists like you, Rabbi Weiss, have been trying to get your voices heard to the international community and as well to the American leaders. But do you think that you got that fair share of coverage from your own media in America?
That is just part of the sad chain of links in the long chain of events that Zionism intimidates. The Zionism has AIPAC, that they put pressure on politicians. The politicians are fearful of showing sympathy to the Palestinian cause, or speaking or listening to the voice of the large Jewish communities, whether here or in Al-Quds in Jerusalem, who oppose the occupation. And for instance, now even, as you know, the Zionists are busy going up to the Al-Aqsa Mosque and spouting their terrible incitement. And we had to even, we had many demonstrations in the last few weeks and months in regard to this issue alone. We had to remind the world that we had the chief rabbi of Palestine in the 1929. His name was Rabbi Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld of blessed memory. He was the anti-Zionist chief rabbi of the Orthodox Jews of the community of Palestine, which was the community of Palestine. And already in that time, in 1929, he issued a statement in Arabic in a local newspaper called El Salam, where he said, and I'm quoting, "The Jews do not want in any way to take that which isn't theirs. They certainly don't want to contest the right of other inhabitants to the places held by them which they regard with honor and consider holy. And in particular, there is no foundation to the rumor that the Jews want to acquire the Temple Mount. On the contrary, from that time, because of our sins, we were exiled from the land, our holy temple was destroyed, and we have been lacking the purity required by the Torah. It is forbidden for any Jewish person to set foot upon the grounds of the Temple Mount until the coming of the righteous Messiah, who with the Spirit of the Almighty will rule righteously for the good of all creation, and will return to us the purity required by the Torah, which Jews aspire to, the coming of the Messiah, where all humanity, God will reveal His glory, and without any human intervention, there will be a spirit of believing in the one God, and all humanity will join arms and go up and serve God, and God will Himself create this happening, this metaphysical change. Any steps to go and to acquire a sovereignty, to go up on the holy the area, is something which is totally contradictory to Judaism, forbidden. And the world doesn't hear our voice. We have our brethren in Palestine, they get brutally beaten. They go out every day demonstrating. They get attacked, beaten, and assassinated. And the world doesn't see this or hear this. Well, I think it's the media is very afraid of being accused of being anti-Semitic. And worse than that, more than that, they know that when they do show anything that we do, our demonstrations, then they get viciously undermined. They get attacked by the Zionists through their efficient programs by forcing the advertisers to stop advertising in the media.
Rabbi
So
Weiss,
it's only
we're
the
running
press
out of
TV,
time.
and it's like...
I'm afraid I have to cut you off there. Rabbi Yisroel Dovid Weiss, the Associate Director of Netanyahu Qatar International, with us live from Washington. It was a pleasure to talk to you.